Hello friends, today I am going to discuss about importance of delegation of authority. So actually first you remember the six main point. The first is work efficient management. I repeat, work efficient management. Second, development of employees. Third, motivation. Fourth, benefit of specialization. Fifth, coordination. Sixth, scope for expansion. So, actually, if you understand somehow the importance of delegation of authority is somehow looking to be similar up to some extent to the decentralization. So don't try to be confused between both. Decentralization is about distribution of power with the responsibilities, right? And delegation of authority is about almostly nearby that distribution of power. But here you remember the power is given to the person relate to the work, so they could maintain their duties performing in proper way. So in ordinary words I could say that delegation of power is enable that other person's capacity for fulfilling their task, right? But here it is actually making some work performance better, because the ultimate responsibilities will remain at the top and only work related powers will be distributed to the different level officers. Okay, the first point is work efficient management. Let us continue the explanation. Due to the delegation of power, the officer working in higher level will be out of the stress of burden of work, because with the responsibility some authorities are diverted to their subordinates according to work. So in that way their actual management efficiency will come out easily and they could perform well, as much as better than earlier, because their burden of work is reduced by delegating some duties with the authorities to their subordinates. So power actually is said to be key of the administration. See, remember this line, power is key of administration. But here the delegation of power is key for organizing process. Okay, here you have heard two different one line question. What is the key of the administration means the power, and what is the key of the organization is delegation of power. Here we are distributing the power. And when centralizing the power, all responsibilities are in one hand. It is sometimes creating burden on the person. That is not good. But when the responsibilities are diverted, the burden is reduced. Right? So let us understand the first example. See, in cricket team we see that captain is having actual power on the ground, but in time of the bowling or the batting, the player is having own power to take the judgment at the ball comes to him, how to defend self, how to react to the delivery. So he will not ask at every moment that the ball is coming to me and what should I do. If we think about the army, on the front, at the moment when the bullet is coming from the opposite army, the soldier is having own power to take the immediate decision regarding the response to the attack of the enemy. So this is called delegation of power, because every moment the person will ask to the superior that how I react is not possible. So to performing the work and doing the task well, it is must that we must react as per the requirement of our work. Right? So this was the first concept. Second, development of employees. You all know that any employee cannot work just by following the duties. Sometimes every employee need own relaxation in the way and own motivation in which way he could inspire himself. But when the organization is giving power to the employee to take decision in his duty, it means it is one kind of decentralization of power, but regarding only his duty, not about others. So here his confidence will increase. Why? He knows that his superiors have put confidence in himself, so he will be inspired and motivated and respond better positively to perform well. They can have better decision making capacity. They have confidence in him. He will realize this and take logical decisions. So the constant need of taking decision could implemented in its own way. That is required to understand. Okay. The third point I am going to discuss is motivation. So motivation means inspire the person to perform well as much as better he can. It is called motivation. So when higher authority delegate the power and decentralize it to their subordinates, in that situation the subordinate will work as much as better as they can, because here they are being boosted by the superior by giving them powers. So it will increase their self confidence to perform as much as better they can. So in that way, this is one kind of correct motivation given to the employee by the higher authorities. So here it is creating, they, it is increasing their confidence also, because they know that my authorities have kept their confidence in me, so I have to respond in proper way. They know it better and they try to perform it as much as better they can, to respond as much as better. So the authority's confidence in him, the authority's trust in him could maintain for future. So remember one thing, any company cannot work just by the order, but company perform well by inspire their employee, and that is only been done by positive support, not by punitive attitude. Here you can ask me, punitive means punishment. Strictness, I mean to say, only strictness is not the base of discipline, but to inspire others is the base of discipline. What we have to understand about each employee, right? So the motivation is more better to create a better discipline in own self. It is possible only by trusting the employee, respecting the employee, putting confidence in employee will create correct motivation, right? Now the fourth point is benefit of specialization. You know that present days in modern management, appointment of the employee is based on his skill, his experience, his knowledge, his training, whatever he has taken in his time of study. So the employee will given power according to his skill and capacity. So employee will given the power, the duty, the authority, the responsibility according to abilities in a specific field. So in that situation they are being assigned different duties, different authorities, different powers as per the capacity the authority need from him. So the ability, skill and excellence of the employee is seen when they are given respect. They are being given support. They are being given support by the authority. And how it is possible? Just by delegating them authority and power about their work. It could increase their capacity to boost their performance, right? So in that situation their skill will come out in front of the all. Okay, now the fifth point is coordination. Coordination is actually one kind of the process to connect one department to other department for aiming to achieve the goal. So here the relationship of upper superiors and the lower subordinates is being developed by creating coordination within them. So here I could say the middle level, top level and lower level employees and the authorities are getting chance to creating their independent capacity to take decision. and the upper level is respecting their ability by delegating them duties with the authority. So in that way, upper level officers' opinion is given importance by the top level authorities about the lower level officers. So every officer, every employee inner capacity may come out, may develop, and the better relationship, the interrelationship between different officers in a personal way could develop in organization, which create good coordination and result in easily achievement of goal or the objective, right? So here I discussed about the fifth point. Now the last point of the importance I am going to discuss. See, it is the scope for expansion. Now you could ask me, expansion of what? Expansion of business. Why it is possible? Now we discuss about. Due to the delegation of the authority, the upper level officer are realizing freedom, and they could focus on development of the business or the expansion of the business by implementing new ideas. So it will reflect long life of business and give easy performance in better way in businesses. So remember one thing, when the all burden are on officers, will be there, will reduce their capacity, as we have heard that as they are being free, they can concentrate on including developing their new ideas, their skill, and for the expansion of the business. So here we can understand that reducing the capacity is not good, but increasing the ability is good for any enterprise about the skill of any employee, right? So these are importance, these are points of importance of delegation of authority which I have discussed with you. Okay, now I am going to discuss about elements of delegation of authority. See, you know that the Lewis Allen has given definition of delegation of authority. He always say that assigning the responsibility, distributing the power to the subordinates by creating accountability for effective performance. So here first element is authority, second element is responsibility, and third element is accountability. So now we understand the first some meanings of all the three concepts. What is the meaning of responsibility? When given duties or the project to a person to fulfill, it is called responsibility, that he will be responsible for fulfilling the project. It is a responsibility. When I discuss about authority, then I could say that a person is given powers to take the decision as per the situation, it is called authority. And when I discuss about accountability, I could say one line that in any case of the failure, who is responsible to answer top level? That creating such created responsibility to respond top level is called accountability. Means another way I could say who is answerable to whom. The situation of being answerable is called accountability. So here by this content we understand that responsibility is being entrusted by the authority to the subordinate. Authority is being confirmed means the power is given to him, and the accountability is created means he will be completely responsible for ultimate result of the project. So responsibility, accountability and authority are three legs of a tripod of delegation of authority. I repeat, responsibility, accountability and authority are three legs of tripod of delegation of authority. So actually we could understand that every leg in this tripod is equally important and independent but also interconnected to each other. When the authority comes, the responsibilities also come with it. When both are delegated to the person, then the accountabilities naturally arise. So in that way, any effective organizational structure can be framed by balancing all these legs together and by interconnecting with each other, which is necessary to understand, right? So here we can understand very easily that this tripod is completely connected with each other. Okay, first, entrustment of the responsibility. See, the entrustment of the responsibility is assigning duty by the top level officer to the subordinate for any particular project, as I have said earlier. So in that situation, the responsibility is given to a person to perform particular task. So here one kind of relationship has been developed between subordinate and the superior relating to the given responsibility and to follow the order given by the superior as per the duty and the powers. So it is called assigning the responsibility, and which flows from top to bottom. When one project is given to one departmental head, he will be responsible for it. So here top level has delegated authority and responsibility for a specific task to a person. So in that situation, for that specific task, the middle level officer is the departmental head, but he will be responsible and answerable to the top level authorities. Now I am coming to the second concept. It is called conferment of authority. What is meant by conferment of authority? Giving power to a person to obtain work achieved. To obtain work achieved from other. Given power to a person to obtain work achieved from other is called delegation of authority. So here specific person is given power to get work from his subordinates by his superiors. So it is called distribution of authority. Allotment of the work, allotment of the authority, allotment of the responsibility, all are included in it. So same way, it also come from top to bottom. So nothing different from each other, you can understand. Now you understand that power is given to the person to take the decision as per the situation. So here power to take the decision has been delegated to him. So ultimately, end of the project, completely responsibility on his head. It is natural thing. So this delegation of authority is fulfilling so many purposes, as like marketing manager is given power to do proper decision according to work. What duty to give whom is ultimately his power regarding the marketing activity. So at that time the top level authority will not come to him either to appoint this person in this part of the work or to appoint this person in this part of the work. How to take the work in disciplined manner from them is also in his power. So it is called assigning authority. Now I want to discuss the last point is creation of accountability. So you also understand that as the authority is given to a person, it naturally creates the accountability on a specific level. Now I explain the definition of accountability. The delegated authority holder has to provide proper explanation. As I said, he is answerable and follow reporting process. So he will have to give report to his superiors, to the top level management. This is called accountability. See, understand, I just explained it very well earlier. Delegation of authority to a person means it is creating his complete responsibility about the result of the work, and ultimately he will be answerable to his superiors for explaining the situation in which the project is and what is the report at this moment is his responsibility to reply. So he could not be away from his replying ability. He may surely given power to get work done. He may surely given power to get work done from his subordinate, but his subordinate will not be answerable to his superiors, but he will be answerable to the superiors about the result or the situation of the task at this moment. So in that situation, we could understand one example, that the middle level officer have been given some powers to take the decision about the work to be done properly from the bottom level. At this situation, the bottom level will not reply to the top level, but middle level will reply to the top level that why and in which situation the project is at this stage. So ultimately here two responsibilities are developed on side of authority holder. First is to explain to the superiors, and second to reporting to the superior, so the superior could understand better way about the situation of work. So this accountability is remain to him, cannot be diverted to others. So in that situation, they are compulsorily bound to reply to their superiors in any situation for the situation of the project or the work done at which level the project is. Right? So here I discussed the second question in this lecture about elements of delegation of authority, and earlier we discussed about importance of delegation of authority. Right, my friends? So here I have concluded chapter number 4.